the Jordan 5, the Black Metallics, released this weekend, and I sent y'all that little Instagram post that shows people lining up at the mall trying to get their hands on these. Definitely a classic pair of sneakers, so happy to see that there's some buzz. I actually had my younger brother reach out to me asking, like, he's in high school, so he's trying to get some sneakers, and I actually recommended these to him. So do y'all have any thoughts on the buzz on these Jordan 5s? I know it's a GR release, so it's not really, like, it's not a collab. It's not like it's broken the internet, but any reactions at seeing people line up to get these?
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen, excuse me, from what I've seen, it's sold out pretty much everywhere. You got to go to the resale market now. And I'm a little bit surprised because fives haven't been all that popular in recent times. And you also, just with how expensive Jordans have been and with the sneaker market in general, it's surprising to see a shoe like this sell out. I'm not mad at it. I'm just a little surprised, especially because Jordan is pushing, or they were pushing, those banned 1985 ones for, I think it was last week's release. And then we also have the Black Toe Reimagined coming up in a week. So Jordan's making a lot of moves this month. The Black Metallic 5s were not the ones I'd expect to see people line up for. But it's cool. I think it's good for this sneaker culture. I've always liked 5s, and if they get a little bigger and it means we get more colorways, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I agree. And I think Black Metallic 5s are my favorite 5s. I wouldn't even say 5s are my favorite of like the Jordan silhouettes. It's definitely up there, probably like top 3. But I just think it's exciting seeing shoes be hyped like this again. Not that I'm super big into the hype or the resale market or anything like that, but this kind of feels a little bit nostalgic. Like back when I was heavy into sneakers, like we're talking over 10 years ago at this point, this was kind of the culture, especially in middle school. And a lot of the cool 5s were coming out. This was a lot of the culture back then, and it feels like this has waned over time. So just like, even though I'm personally not lining up for anything, it's just cool seeing something like this happen. And I'm glad personally that it happened with the 5s. And like I said in the previous episode, I'm not big on 1s, so I wouldn't have really got it for those. But for these, at least, I like the Metallic 5s. If they drop, like, maybe you guys don't feel this way, but I have a lot of nostalgia for the Oreo 5. So if they drop something like that, you might catch me online. I'm still not lining up for anything, but
I ain't gonna lie. I think they dropped those recently, like a year or two ago. Maybe I'm tripping, but I feel like they dropped those recently.
I got some research to do.
I'm gonna look this up real quick. Continue.
Yeah, I'm very interested in that. So they did drop those. I'm sure. Well, I don't know what they'll be like. The price will be like now, but sneakers haven't been going too crazy, so hopefully nothing wild. But I'll be very interested in those. You said what?
2021.
Yeah, 2021.
Oh wow, maybe I just missed that during COVID.
I think they're under retail right now, or I mean, around retail. I'm not mad, bro. Those are probably one of my favorite 5s as well. It's like the cleanest black colorway, I think.
Exactly. Yeah, I had a pair in middle school that I outgrew going into high school. I definitely want to re-up on those.
I'd be devastated.
Yeah. But yeah, this is cool anyway.
Yeah, for sure. Those are definitely clean. I also know the Great 5s are set to make a re-release this year. So I actually personally own the last pair that released. And I will say, not a super wearable shoe in terms of like, like they're super, they definitely like, are very loud sneakers, even though they're mostly white. But the purple, the teal, super. I think the 5s as a whole are super loud silhouette just because they're so bulky. But I think they kind of fit the current mold of where the trends are these days, with like the draped pants. I think it makes it a lot easier to just kind of be a little bit more low key if you want to put them on a fit. So
Yeah.
I think these black metallic fives, man, for anyone listening, just looking for like an everyday sneaker, I think this is the move, man. What will not go with black? You know, black goes with everything. So um
Spring summer, it's a little questionable in my humble
I
opinion.
get it.
I feel like you need the all white, just Air Force Ones. That's all you need in that season. But
that's
for
fair.
the colder months, you want to keep warm. You know, have some extra space in your foot. Hey, these could be it.
But I'm just thinking like a summer in New York City, man. The streets get disgusting, regardless of what the season is. So
You get a little wet wipe when you go home. You know.
I don't know, man. I think there's always a market in New York City. So I'm still all for it.
Yeah. Well, it's cool to see these, but I definitely need them to drop more original 5 colorways. I want to say I've heard they're also dropping the Fear 5s, which if that is true, I will be trying to get those.
Interesting. I have not heard.
Yeah, it would be cool to see a yeah, I didn't hear about that either. I'm obviously not as tapped in, but it would definitely be cool to see a resurgence of 5s. I feel like it's one of the better colorways that isn't super appreciated in some of like compared to like maybe 3s or 4s or things like that, or I guess 1s had like a big run a few years ago. So it'll be cool to see, because I personally, like I said, in middle school I was heavy on, I got like the Oreos, grapes, and I think Fire Red 5s. Those like, I was like really big into 5s at the time, even if they weren't my favorite colorway. I think, this disclosure, in middle school I wore a uniform, so it was way easier, like you said, Eric, about the grapes. Like at the time it was way easier to just like, everyone just wore whatever on their feet, because like we were all wearing the same uniform, so it kind of just like defaulted, and like the sneakers were like the one thing to pop out. So like I was wearing the grapes, so like I didn't really think too deeply about it. I do agree, if like I were to buy grapes now, maybe it's a little tougher to manage those, but even then I just think they're really dope shoes, and I think it's a fun silhouette to work with. So hopefully there's more dropping.
I feel like they should be where the 3s are in the culture in terms of popularity.
I agree.
Like I like 3s, but not as much as 5s.
Yeah, I think, because for me 4 is my favorite silhouette. I'm sure
4 would be my favorite if they were more comfortable. Aesthetically, they're my favorite.
Yeah, aesthetically they just look beautiful to me, and I think that's like the sweet spot. And I think 5s I would then have below them, and 3s below that. Not those are not my top 3, but
we gotta rank these in an episode.
Yeah, I think those would be that would be a fun episode actually. So I won't reveal my entire list, but just out of those like low numbers, I think 3s are actually my least favorite out of those 3. But it's interesting because those seem to have the most pull behind them. So yeah, that'll be a fun
keep
list.
Getting colorway after colorway for like not even OG colorways. Like they'd be getting the most random like women's colorways, and
they love women's 3s. I think women just love 3s. Yeah.
Maybe it's got to be the case actually. Now that I think about it,
you see women wearing a lot. They like 4s too, to be fair, but as you see women wearing a lot of 3s. I've seen a lot of women wear 3s.